While it's going to be very, very difficult to top week number 5 in Project 70, Topps is giving it their best shot with the releases today to start out week number 6. But now seeing the work of Naomi, seeing the work of New York Nico with the Torres and the Jeter, the pink skyline, something about it just works. It's very hard to believe that that moment that we witnessed 2 years ago, and by the way, that footage is for me in the Tokyo Dome watching Ichiro's last final game for the Mariners. It's hard to believe that's been 2 years ago plus 1 day, considering how much the world has changed. 2 years ago, we could get on a plane in a moment's notice and fly to Tokyo, Taipei, wherever you wanted to go, and nowadays it seems like a distant memory. But welcome to episode number 16 of the Project 70 Show. My name is Chris, otherwise known on Twitter and Instagram is at CRT_Sportscards. And my website is where you want to go for everything related to not only Project 2020 from last year, but Project 70 this year, and specifically around pricing for first player and second player cards. This weekend, I put up the pricing for the first 45 cards are live in the set. And so while there were 45 live on Sunday, the speed of top shipping, there's probably all 51 first artist cards now live and out there for purchase. But when you think about live cards, a couple of things posted this morning, and those were the print runs from the weekend. Quickly taking a look at Fernando Tatis by Kishore, 9,884. Biggio on the opposite side of the spectrum, just 2,026, and then that Kershaw falling just over the average, 45.29. And now taking a look at the Friday cards, we have Mike Trout coming in, another stellar number here, 8,459. The Torres by New York Nico, very surprising for me, very low, 2,606, and then that Futura by Hank Aaron, 3709. And so when you first saw those print runs post this morning, what were your immediate thoughts on those numbers? I had 3, and you know me, of course, I love the number 3. I do everything in 3s, and so there's always a start, middle, and end to this. But one of my first thoughts was just how low that Biggio is by Fucci. There is a potential chance here that he's going to do maybe some kind of father-son combination with all of the players right now in the majors that had a father that played in the 80s and in the 90s. So there is potential here for this card to be sought after in the future if Fucci does that. But I was very, very surprised to see just sort of the age of collector of Project 70 to not buy up that Biggio. I did say on the video the other day, this isn't maybe the first Astro that I would have gone with, but to see Fucci, someone who sold really well last year, to have such a low number, there's only one card below that at the moment, Soulfly's Albert Pujols, was just kind of shocking to me. The second one here is that Torres by New York Nico. 2,600 is a small number in the New York market, especially with the young and emerging star like Torres is. We will see what happens. Look, Mariano is a player that has consistently shown to not be able to sell very well in Project 2020 and 70, and now to see this Torres that low begs the question, could this card be sought after in the coming months? And then my third takeaway is, to me, my most important one, and it has really upended my real thought process on Project 70 when you compare it directly to its cousin, Project 2020. What is the one thing that we never wanted to see in Project 2020? We never wanted to see a high print run number. We always wanted to see a low print run number. It was a really weird juxtaposition when it came to, as a buyer of the set, we want to buy something very low and rare, yet the artists want to buy something that's very popular, which is obviously a very high printed card. But Project 70 and Topps, they have done something here that has really sort of changed the ball game, and that is with the rainbow foils. Right now in the set, for example, a rainbow foil on average is 1 out of every 57 cards, meaning if you buy 60 of a release, on the averages here, you're going to hit a foil. Look, that's not a tried and true number. That's just what the numbers show. But when it comes to the Tatis this weekend, 1 out of every 141, and that Trout, 1 out of every 121. So what Topps has done here is actually quite brilliant. Look, number one, they have made it an incentive for the artist to sell as many cards as possible. That is what they want to do because they, as an artist, are going to make more money. But number two, was we as buyers and collectors of the set, We are also going to make more money if selling is the name of your game. If you buy one of these higher printed cards from the website and you end up with a rainbow foil, look, right now, that Acuna Pardee rainbow foil is selling for nearly $1,000. That Tatis Ermsey, over $1,100. So right now, if you're saving a couple dollars by buying from a preseller, why don't you just buy from Topps? Because right now, the advantage is with you to buy from the Topps website, because they have made these rainbow foils out of 70. They are now extreme chase cards, and the higher the print run goes on a card, the more valuable they are. And so if you thought I was going to be disappointed that Tatis finished 4th overall right now, and that Trout finished 6th in the top 10 right now when it comes to print runs, no, I am elated, and I want to see more cards print that high just because of the end result of the foils. And now, speaking about secondary value, something I mentioned on the show last week was the fact that there was a complete Project 2020 set ending in auction, and I theorized, would this set get to 15,000, 16,000, or possibly over 20,000? I could not have been more wrong on that sale result. That auction ended actually with a whimper, 8,500, which when you factor in PWCC's 8% commission, that consumer or that customer of that set sold it for less than they paid for. Now, that's just if they purchased one card at a time, about 20 bucks. Even if they had a deal, you're still looking at just maybe scratching out a profit. I think right now, selling a complete Project 2020 set 90 days after the set ended, I think that's just a massive mistake. This is a set that you put together and you let it sit in the closet for many, many years. Selling this set now at auction in probably the worst time for Project 2020 cards was just a mistake. So hopefully nobody else makes that mistake. If you're thinking about selling a Project 2020 set, I would probably hold back, and also keep that in mind as we sort of go through this set and what you're thinking about doing. If for some reason you do end up putting together this entire 1,020 card set, put it away, stash it away, and come back to me in 2031. But before we get to 2031, there's a couple of cards to cover, and most importantly, we need to cover the cards that released today, Monday, in Project 70. And of course, the giveaway card. Which card am I giving away? If you are a watcher of this show, you already know which one it's going to be, even though last week I said I don't want to do a double artist giveaway. By process of elimination today, when it came to the cards that were released, there's only one card that I could give away. And so first up today, releasing their very first Cincinnati Red in the set, it's going to be Natural with Johnny Bench. I am very, very happy to see another team featured in this set. It's about time we get the Reds on the board. There are a ton of great players on the Reds that should be part of the set. I understand Pete Rose is probably never making Project 70, but it's about time somebody put Johnny Bench in the set. This is, of course, Natural's second card in the set. His first card was Juan Soto. And the thing to keep in mind on these cards, as we talked about from last year's set, Natural had hid Easter eggs in these cards. We don't know right now if they're Easter eggs, but the thing I want to find out at the end of his set is, will the clouds in the background connect? The back of his Soto companion card matches up with his actual Soto real card. So it's going to be interesting to see in the future if this 20 card set actually is a mosaic at the end of the day. And now releasing second, but number one forever probably in my heart when it comes to Project 70, is going to be this Quicks. Ichiro card. And Quicks' first card in the set, of course, was Ernie Banks, and that was a card that was very well received by Cubs fans for the uniqueness of the card. But this Ichiro, from the perspective of what it celebrates his retirement in Japan, going back to his homeland and being able to retire, which is something I can only presume every single international athlete wants to have happened to them when they end their career. And so for me to be there, to be lucky to witness that, to understand and to see how revered he is in that country, just makes this card for me incredible. And when I saw it, I just gained the biggest smile on my face because of what it means to me at the end of the day. And just for a quick show off here is one of the final tickets from the game. When I got this graded in August of last year, I think it was, this was the only 2 in existence. I have a PSA 5 also, but it's a really cool final game ticket from that game overall. But this card is amazing, and it's going to be very, very difficult for me to be not as biased on another card going forward, because this card is just great. And now, speaking about great, and look, the Monday cards were just fantastic. Who knows how well they're going to sell? I hope they all sell 12,000 copies. But we now have Lauren Taylor releasing her second card, another New York player, but this time a legend for many, many different reasons. And hopefully one day we're able to figure out and find a cure for Lou Gehrig disease. But we have Lauren Taylor releasing her Lou Gehrig today, and I really hope you got to see her video about that card, because the card is pure emotion. And when you think about my emotion in that Ichiro, this emotion is the same if you're a Yankee, if you're a Gehrig fan, or even if you're a Lauren Taylor fan. The amount of emotion in this card is just tremendous. And I did also want to say thank you to Lauren Taylor. She did send me this signed print of the Mariners the other day in the mail. So thank you, Lauren, for that free gift. I greatly appreciate it. And this, of course, is going to be the giveaway card. I want to see who can get closest to the print run without going over. They will win a free Lou Gehrig from me when it comes to Lauren Taylor's card. So right now in the comments below, put your print run guess below, but also number 2, you must be subscribed to the channel. So hit that subscribe button and put your print run guess below. So I think that means I'm collecting Lauren Taylor right now for you all watchers of the show, because that makes it 2 for 2. And I guess if I buy all 20 cards, I'll end up with that sort of print of all the cards that get released. So that's an intriguing, interesting proposition as I think about her next release and what we can do for bigger and better things for everyone who continues to support the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back on Wednesday night for episode number 17 of the Project 70 Show.